Hayden was diagnosed in 2016 with acute lymphoblastomic leukemia.
Laytyn was diagnosed with a neuroblastoma on December 21st, 2021.
Our son Jace was diagnosed May 17th of 2019 with DIPG.
Tessa was diagnosed February 14th of 2021 with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma type B.
Love Chloe is a childhood cancer organization that focuses on helping Kansas families and funding research. Love Chloe is honored to share the stories of these Kansas families that have been impacted by childhood cancer.
My name's William. I'm Hayden's dad.
I'm Peyton. I'm Hayden's big sister.
I'm Allison. I'm Hayden's little sister.
Hi, I'm Aspen. I'm Hayden's middle sister.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'm Hayden's mom.
Hi, I'm Hayden.
Hayden was diagnosed in 2016 with acute lymphoblastomic leukemia. It is a cancer of the bone marrow, and it attacks his B cells. We went through treatment, and then he went into remission, and we had just hit his 5-year cancer-free, and he relapsed in 2021 in September.
It was watching it all again. Just watching how small it gets and puny. That's probably the hardest part.
We did 30 days of steroids, chemo, and then they did the bone marrow biopsy, and it came back that his cancer was starting to become resistant to the chemo. So we then tried blinatumomab. Hayden had side effects from that, and it caused brain swelling, which caused him to have seizures, not know where he was, not know who we were. So we pulled him off of that.
It was really hard on all of us. Not being able to be there was really hard. And the people at school, everyone always asked. It wasn't really, I know they wanted to be nice and show that they cared. It didn't help though, because we only got to know when our mom found out how he was doing. We were about as clueless as them sometimes. And then just them asking reminded us that we know nothing.
And then we tried a new CAR T-cell therapy. We did a 30-day bone marrow biopsy, and it still came back showing that he had more leukemia cells than what they liked. So they decided that the best option from that point was to prep him for a bone marrow transplant. And we started preparation for the bone marrow transplant, which was a lot of high doses of chemo, 6 sessions of radiation. By that time, the bone marrow was shipped and ready, and then he was in the hospital for 2 months. And then we got to leave the hospital, but still had to stay in Kansas City for daily appointments. And then we got to come home about a month ago. You have to do the best you can. You second guess every decision you make. Just trust your gut instinct, and just continue to do what's best for you. Everybody is kind of in a survival mode. You kind of learn as a family that you just have to trust one another.
I'm cancer-free again.
I'm Trisha Collins. This is Randy. We're Laytyn's parents. So Laytyn was diagnosed with a neuroblastoma on December 21st, 2021. She was going in for her 2-month well check at Salina Pediatric Care. Her pediatrician had felt the mass on palpation of her liver. He thought her liver was just enlarged, and it turned out to not be that. So at that point, he sent us to Kansas City to Children's Mercy for further treatment. She underwent a lot of stuff in the first week. The first day we were there overnight in the ER, where she had a CT scan which confirmed where the neuroblastoma was. And then the following couple days, she had She had a bone marrow biopsy, a biopsy of her tumor, and then a port placement, and she also had an MRI. She had an MRI at the same time, so she was under anesthesia for a good 6 hours at one point. On Christmas Eve, she started chemo. She had a 3-day course of chemo, which ran Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas. We were discharged that Monday. Then we had some more imaging done on that Tuesday, Wednesday, and we finally got to come home that Wednesday. And it just kind of was a lot that happened in a week, and it felt like forever. January 14th, we went back for just a really long day of chemo. And then February 4th, we went back for another CT scan, and that had shown a 69% reduction in the tumor on the right kidney and 49% reduction in the tumor on the left. We got the MIBG done, and she was declared no evidence of disease at that point. I mean, they say that childhood cancer is very rare, but I mean, you see all these commercials for like St. Jude. They're always talking about some kid that has cancer, or you go through the statistics, and it's just, you never think you're going to be one of them. I think they said 5 years, and we'll move to Cancer Survivors Clinic, and then when she turns 21, she'll go to an adult Cancer Survivors Clinic. Yeah, anybody you tell them that she's got a childhood cancer diagnosis, they're like, no way. She's like huge. She's not your typical childhood cancer kid.
I'm Larissa Kreppel.
I'm Tessa Williams.
And I'm Dwayne Crapel.
I'm Cade. I'm Tessa's stepbrother.
I'm Catherine, and I'm Tessa's older sister.
Our daughter was diagnosed in 2020 on February 14th with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. To this day, her lymphoma is still active. It's being controlled by the chemotherapy that we have done, but we are still waiting some results in November to see where we stand, because there is new activity at this point.
Well, she got diagnosed. We did chemo every week for 6 months in Kansas City at Children's Mercy. It was awful, long, lots of tears, lots of emotions, lots of sickness.
Her cancer was so aggressive, and we never saw the signs or symptoms. We just took her in for a routine checkup with her doctor, and that's how we found out about this.
I was supposed to pick her up from school that day, so I was in school all day. She left for an appointment. I drove all the way home, and I ended up getting home, and my mom was like in tears, and she was like, I gotta go to the hospital, like freaking out. So like me just getting home from school was like, she just went for an appointment. What's the difference? I was like, she's just my sister. Oh well, yeah, like I got her for the rest of my life. She's supposed to be my best friend. And then when Mom and Dad told us, like, hey, Tessa has cancer, she's gonna have to go through chemo, and there's the possibilities of her not making it, I was like, what? I was like, she's supposed to be like my lifelong best friend. Like, she's supposed to be here when Mom and Dad leave. She's supposed to be here when my grandparents leave.
Who else is gonna make her ramen for her?
Yeah, like I can't cook. Like she makes all my food for me. So I think a lot of it was like, I could possibly lose like the person who's supposed to be there for me for the rest of my life.
We take every day from there with, it's our new normal. I hate saying that about cancer, but everything we think of now is how do we control or mitigate her getting sick because her immune system is shot.
Like not being able to go to school was really hard because I missed all my friends, and like I needed that social interaction. Being in the hospital, it wasn't the greatest. It was really just kind of annoying to be there all the time. But recently, since I've ended my treatment, only going there for checkups, it's not bad. Like, I'm not as anxious walking into the hospital anymore. And I'm back at school now, so I get to see all my friends, and even if I have to wear a mask, it's still great that I'm able to be there.
I'm Roger Ward. This is my wife, Lisa Ward. Our son, Jace Ward, was diagnosed May 17th of 2019 with DIPG.
DIPG is a diffused intrinsic pontine glioma. That's a mouthful, but basically it's a cancerous mass that occurs in the brainstem, and it infiltrates the healthy cells of the pons like a spider web. It's not one mass that you can take out with surgery. In fact, it can't be surgically removed, and it's incurable.
In the very beginning, was very, very scary. First of all, there's no roadmap. There's nothing that tells you what to do, where to go next, who to see. But it's kind of like one of those things, you know, you have 6 to 9 months, go make some memories. You know, and we're fighters. We was not going to accept that. So we did a lot. We right at the very beginning, we went down to Houston and then off to New York. Didn't have much luck there, and found that in California was where we needed to go. And so really, what was that? Was it a week or 2 weeks? I don't remember now, but it was a very short period of time. We hit 3 different coasts.
We were able to tell what mutations he had and that they would probably respond to a newer drug called ONC201. He was able to take the drug once a week for 14 months with stability.
As that was starting to, you know, his symptoms started progressing, then we was able to hear about the CAR T-cell trial that was going on in California.
And it really became, you know, you can go hard and go home possibly with this CAR T-cell trial at Stanford, or we can create sort of a cocktail regimen using ONC201. And his feeling was, if somebody needs to try it, he would rather it be him than a parent of a 5 or 6 year old making that decision. That worked for about 3.5 months, but as we rounded through Christmas and New Year's, he was progressively getting worse on a daily basis. And the FDA approval needed to take it straight through what's called an OMIA. That wasn't approved until January 7th, and he started that trial January 8th. So he went in a wheelchair, something sort of new to him. His mouth was locked. He couldn't even eat a thin crust pizza. His face was drooping. He couldn't use his one arm. And he came out full smile. I turned out again and walked about 4 miles a day when he went to the Super Bowl with Roger in February of 2021. He went on to have 3 more rounds, and that continued through June. He'd had about a 70% overall reduction in his tumor, which is very exciting. But the wear and tear had been made as the fight was waged within the pons, and his vessels had shown some fragility, and he died of a brain bleed in July of 2021. And he knew it probably gave him the best opportunity to fight the tumor, but he also realized it gave us the least amount of regret. And even if neither of those trials would save his life, he knew that we had tried the very best thing to save him, and he knew we knew that. And we don't live with regret because we do feel like we found every opportunity we could. And so that's worth a lot right there. I think that DIPG right now has come from a period of the dark corner that it was when Chloe was in the fight to really a leader in how you can do it if you have to go from 0% survival to something much greater, fueled by families that have been in the fight with the urgency that our children need. And what I heard at the White House is not only do they hear us and see us, but they want to learn from us. And I think the lesson of Jace was, why not? Why not now? Why not us? Why can't it be different for the next child?
One of the ways we support our families is with Warrior Wagons. These wagons include several items for the child, their siblings, and the parents, such as travel activities, toiletries for hospital stays, toys, comfy clothes, snacks, awareness items, gift cards to the family's favorite restaurants, $500 Visa gift cards. Each wagon has a value of around $1,500 each.
I didn't know who to contact, what help there was, and then out of nowhere you showed up. And that was like the second time that I saw my daughter smile. When you brought that amazing cart of, the Warrior Wagon, that was, I had to take a step back because it made me think that she didn't have anything else on her mind. She was free of the C word and thinking about it and being young, but that was when she just relaxed and smiled.
We also provide family support grants. These grants can be used for expenses incurred during their child's treatment, such as the mortgage, gas, utilities, travel, etc. Families can apply for up to $1,500 every 12 months.
Without it, I couldn't have been there. For the month that I was up there, the weeks here and there, I mean, the bills keep on coming, they don't stop, so, I mean, it helped out tremendous.
Another way that we help support our Kansas families is Fueling the Fight gas cards. Families within Kansas can apply for $250 gas cards every 12 months. The Love Chloe distinctive license plates enable us to provide these gas cards to our families.
They help you out when you need it, and I mean, it does take the edge off of everything when they do help out.
It really does take a lot of the financial worry out of it. Whether it be the gas cards or just something to go get food so you don't have to eat hospital food all the time, because that can get old real fast, no matter how good it is.
Monkey in My Chair is a program created by Love Chloe. This national program helps children stay connected with their classmates while they're away for cancer treatments. A big stuffed monkey takes the child's place at school and helps to teach the other children about inclusion, compassion, and so much more. Each year, this program sends over 800 Monkey in My Chair kits to families across the United States.
I remember we had this school dance coming up. So our principal brought in Lewis, and he sat there with the monkey, which was pretty awesome. He got to go to the school dances, he got to go to the meetings, and something else I thought was funny is one day I was walking past their class, I wanted to look in the mirror to see how Lewis was doing. And as I was looking, they were actually doing an assignment with him, which I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I know my brother's gonna be okay.
Another focus for the Love Chloe Foundation is childhood cancer research. We fund groundbreaking science to help find a cure for childhood cancer. Our goal is to fund treatments that provide better, less toxic options for our children. We collaborate with several other like-minded organizations to help research dollars make a bigger impact.
So I feel it's important to give to the childhood cancer organizations. One, because the research, there's only 4% of the research currently going to childhood cancer, and because of childhood, it's devastating. The diagnosis itself is just one of the worst things.
Starting this month, the DIPG-DMG National Brain Tumor Board will begin. We do believe we have 8 of the very best. It's funded by almost 60 foundations, including Love Chloe Foundation, and we're so grateful for that. So the DIPG-DMG Research Funding Alliance, we call DARFA because that's a whole mouthful. And what we do is we each wanted to keep our own identity in honoring our child, but we also wanted to be able to give the researchers a chance to submit one grant to all of us. And so then how would we decide to fund these grants? There are some really good opportunities for brand new research. So each of them can ask for up to $100,000 this round. And we truly will start on a Zoom call, if you can imagine, and each of us will put in the name of our foundation and how much we're willing to fund in the highest scoring grant. And this group is so excited about these grants that have come in. They've identified about 7. So we will get on that Zoom call, we'll all put in, and we'll see if we can fund one, we'll go to the next. If there's one that somebody wants to fund that didn't make it to the top, maybe it's something in Kansas or St. Louis or Colorado, close to the Midwest for us in Kansas, you can still fund it. In fact, you can find others to fund it with you. So we're not gatekeepers, we're champions of the research, and we want to have as much funded for DIPG as possible. And this weekend at the Brainstorm Summit, we were so excited because Emerson Collective, the Jobs family, Steve Jobs family, said, you know what, if you find things that you want to fund, we'll co-fund with you. So we're bringing new people to the circle, and we think this is a new model for funding, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Your support enables Love Chloe to provide assistance to families and to advance the fight to end childhood cancer.